In feudal Japan, information was more valuable than gold. A single piece of intelligence could prevent a war, save a clan, or topple a dynasty. And no one gathered information better than ninjas. But forget the Hollywood image of ninjas sneaking into castles at night, stealing scrolls, and disappearing in smoke. Real ninja intelligence gathering was far more sophisticated, patient, and brilliant. Ninjas were history's first professional intelligence operatives. They didn't just collect information. They built networks, planted agents, manipulated sources, and created systems that would make modern spy agencies jealous. The genius of ninja intelligence work wasn't in dramatic infiltrations. It was in being so ordinary that nobody noticed you were gathering secrets right in front of them. A ninja might spend 6 months working as a merchant near a castle, slowly befriending guards, learning schedules, mapping layouts, and identifying vulnerabilities. No dramatic action, just patient observation and careful relationship building. Or a kunoichi, a female ninja, might become a servant in a lord's household. For years, she'd serve tea, clean rooms, and remain invisible while listening to every conversation, memorizing every routine, and noting every weakness. This was intelligence gathering as an art form. Not smash and grab, not break in and escape, but systematic, methodical, invisible collection of information that enemies never knew they'd lost. Modern intelligence agencies study ninja methods because they understood something fundamental. The best spy is the one nobody suspects exists. Let's explore exactly how they did it. Ninjas were masters of what we'd now call deep cover operations. They didn't just disguise themselves temporarily. They became someone else completely, sometimes for years. The most common cover was as traveling merchants. Feudal Japan had constant merchant traffic between regions. A merchant could ask questions without suspicion, observe defenses while doing business, and travel freely where soldiers couldn't go. Ninjas became genuine merchants, learning actual trade skills so their cover was perfect. Some became wandering monks or priests. Religious figures could enter any territory, stay in monasteries with strategic views, and ask questions about local affairs under the guise of spiritual concern. Who would suspect a peaceful monk of espionage? Entertainers were perfect covers. Traveling performers went everywhere, entertained both peasants and nobles, and heard gossip from all social levels. A ninja trained as an acrobat, musician, or storyteller could gather intelligence while literally standing on stage, in front of their targets. The most dangerous cover was a Jimabushi, mountain ascetics. These religious warriors traveled freely, possessed martial skills without suspicion, and had legitimate reasons to be in remote areas where secret meetings happened. Female ninjas had unique infiltration opportunities. As servants, they could access private quarters where male guards never went. As courtesans or entertainers, they could get close to powerful men who were vulnerable when relaxed. Society's tendency to dismiss women as harmless made them devastatingly effective intelligence operatives. But infiltration required more than costume changes. Ninjas learned regional dialects perfectly. They memorized local customs, religious practices, and social etiquette. A single wrong phrase or gesture could expose them. They also studied psychology obsessively. How different types of people think, what they value, what motivates them. This allowed ninjas to become whoever their target would trust. Approaching a greedy merchant, be a fellow trader seeking profit. Approaching a devout samurai, be a respectful fellow warrior. The ninja became a mirror, reflecting what the target wanted to see. Some infiltrations lasted years. A ninja might establish himself in a region, raise a family, become part of the community, all while slowly gathering information and waiting for the moment his intelligence was needed. The most valuable intelligence came from people, not documents. Ninjas were masters of human intelligence gathering, using techniques that modern intelligence agencies still employ. First, they identified information sources. Who actually knows what we need? Guards know schedules. Servants know household secrets. Merchants know economic information. Ninjas targeted the right people, not just the obvious ones. Then came relationship building. not interrogation, not bribery, genuine relationship development. A ninja might befriend a castle guard by buying him drinks, sharing stories, and becoming a trusted companion. Weeks or months later, the guard naturally shares information without realizing he's been cultivated as a source. Ninjas use what we call elicitation techniques. They'd make casual comments that prompted targets to correct them with accurate information. I heard the Lord leaves his castle every Tuesday. The target, wanting to show superior knowledge, would respond, no, only the first Tuesday of each month, and only with 5 guards. They exploited human weaknesses systematically. Greed, pride, loneliness, fear, ambition. Everyone has vulnerabilities. A lonely guard might share secrets for companionship. A proud officer might reveal information to show off his knowledge. An ambitious servant might betray his master for promised advancement. Female ninjas were particularly skilled at extracting information from men who underestimated them. A kunoichi could ask seemingly naive questions that men would proudly answer, never realizing they were being systematically debriefed. Ninjas also planted false information to test loyalty and identify leaks. If you tell 3 people 3 different secrets and one appears in enemy hands, you've identified your leak. This counterintelligence technique is still used today. They understood that people reveal more when comfortable. Steak houses, bathhouses, religious festivals. Ninjas gathered intelligence in places where people relaxed and talked freely. The best intelligence often came from casual conversations, not formal interrogations. Ninjas also recruited sub-agents, building networks of informants who didn't know they were working for ninja clans. A merchant who thought he was simply sharing news with a friend was actually feeding information to an intelligence network. Beyond human sources, ninjas developed sophisticated technical collection methods that were centuries ahead of their time. Observation posts were carefully selected and maintained. A tree with a view of castle gates, a hill overlooking a training ground, an abandoned building near meeting locations. Ninjas would spend days in these positions, documenting patterns, counting soldiers, noting shift changes, all while remaining completely undetected. They used simple but effective tools. Hollow reeds allowed breathing while submerged in moats or ponds, turning them into aquatic observation posts. Mirrors reflected sunlight for long-distance signals. Marked stones and broken branches left coded messages for fellow operatives. Ninjas were experts at eavesdropping. They knew that castle walls had weak points where sound traveled. They identified spots where conversations could be overheard from hidden positions. Some ninja houses were built with acoustic features that allowed hearing conversations in adjacent rooms. They mastered the art of physical surveillance without being noticed, following targets through crowded markets, blending into travelers on roads, maintaining visual contact without making eye contact. These are skills that require extensive training and practice. Document intelligence was gathered carefully. Ninjas didn't just steal papers randomly. They memorized document locations so nothing appeared disturbed. They could read and copy documents quickly, sometimes using special techniques to remember pages photographically. Some ninjas trained in what we call forensic skills, reading footprints to know how many people passed and when, examining horse tracks to estimate cavalry numbers, analyzing food supplies to calculate garrison size. Every detail told a story to trained observers. They also used animal and environmental intelligence. Bird behavior indicated approaching troops. Disturbed wildlife suggested hidden camps. Even weather patterns were studied to predict troop movements and supply difficulties. Ninjas developed codes and ciphers for transmitting information securely. Simple substitution codes, invisible inks made from natural materials, encoded language that sounded innocent but conveyed precise military intelligence. Perhaps most impressively, they created what we call dead drops, hidden locations where intelligence could be left for pick up without direct contact. A hollow tree, a marked rock, a specific shrine. Information could travel through multiple hands without any to operatives. Meeting. Every technique I've described, ninjas used for 100 years ago. And every single one is still used by intelligence agencies today. Deep cover operatives. The CIA and MI6 still plant agents in foreign countries for years, building genuine lives as covers. The concept hasn't changed, just the technology supporting it. Human intelligence and relationship building, still the core of espionage. No amount of satellite surveillance replaces a well-placed human source. Who can explain what satellite images mean? Elicitation techniques. Modern intelligence officers learn exactly what ninjas practiced. How to extract information through casual conversation without the target, realizing they're being debriefed. Technical surveillance and observation posts. Drones and satellites have replaced hilltops, but the principle is identical. Position yourself where you can observe without being detected. The drops and coded communication, still used when digital communication is too risky. Sometimes the old methods are the most secure. The ninja approach to intelligence teaches us something profound. Information gathering is about patience, not action. It's about being unremarkable, not impressive. It's about building relationships, not forcing confessions. In our modern world, these principles remain relevant beyond espionage, business intelligence, investigative journalism. Even understanding people in everyday life all benefit from ninja techniques. Want to understand your competition? Don't hack their computers. Build relationships with their former employees who will freely share information. Want to know what's really happening in an organization? Don't interrogate, listen casually to conversations in relaxed settings. The genius of ninja intelligence gathering was understanding that people want to share information. They want to feel important, to demonstrate knowledge, to build connections, create the right conditions, and information flows naturally. Modern technology has made some aspects easier, but it's also made people paranoid about digital surveillance, while remaining completely unaware of human intelligence techniques. A skilled operative using ninja methods can still gather enormous amounts of information in plain sight. The most important lesson from ninja intelligence work is this: the greatest secrets are often hidden in plain sight, shared openly by people who don't realize the value of what they know. The art isn't in stealing information, it's in recognizing valuable intelligence when others see only casual conversation. Ninjas prove that you don't need fancy technology to build an intelligence network. You need patience, psychology, and the discipline to remain invisible while everyone talks around you. In an age of cyber espionage and digital surveillance, perhaps the most subversive act is to remember that sometimes the most effective intelligence gathering tool is simply a good listener who asks the right questions. Thank you for exploring the intelligence methods of history's most effective spies. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for more content on the practical techniques behind legendary warriors and operatives.